Her younger sister spent years trying to destroy her. She lied, she manipulated, and on her own wedding day, she tried to humiliate her in front of everyone. But what her younger sister didn't know is that karma was already on its way. Stay with this story, because you're not going to believe what happened next. Olivia Hart never thought she would tell this story. A story of betrayal, of favoritism, of heartbreak that spanned her entire life, and of the sweetest revenge she never planned, but fate delivered. She grew up in a family of 4. Her parents, her younger sister Sophia, and herself. You know, there's this strange thing in some families. When there are 2 siblings, one becomes the star, the golden child, and the other, well, the other just learns how to survive in the shadows. Olivia was the shadow. Sophia was the star. Sophia was beautiful, charismatic, witty. Everyone loved her. Everyone adored her. And Olivia? She was always the quiet one, the serious one, the one they said was too sensitive, too plain, or simply not enough. Even as kids, Sophia always found a way to turn the spotlight toward herself. At Olivia's birthday parties, somehow, Sophia would always end up opening the gifts or getting the most attention. Olivia remembered one particular birthday she was turning 10. She had been excited for weeks. She was finally going to have a small party with a few friends and a cake she chose herself. But as soon as the guests arrived, Sophia suddenly complained of feeling unwell. She clutched her stomach, saying it hurt, and naturally, everyone's attention shifted to her. Olivia's parents quickly surrounded Sophia, concerned, as did the other adults. It made sense. When someone's not feeling well, they need care. Olivia understood that. But after a while, something felt different. Sophia didn't just sit quietly to recover. She kept groaning louder every time someone turned their attention back to Olivia. She exaggerated her discomfort, asking to be carried, asking for ice packs, asking for special snacks. Each request perfectly timed to keep the spotlight on her. And somehow it worked. No one really came back to Olivia. Somewhere between checking on Sophia and serving the cake, Olivia's birthday just slipped away. She remembered blowing out her candles quietly, not because she was angry, but because by then, she had already learned. She was easy to forget. That was the first time Olivia realized she was not going to be the center of attention in her own life. It didn't stop there. At every family gathering, Thanksgiving dinners, holidays, Sophia would be paraded around like a princess. Olivia's parents loved to show Sophia off. Oh, Sophia is so popular at school. Look at Sophia's dress. Isn't she gorgeous? Sophia knows how to talk to people. Olivia? She was the one who didn't smile enough, who didn't talk enough, who didn't stand out. She remembered craving their approval. She would study harder, try to make them proud, but it never mattered. Sophia was their golden child. Olivia was just the other daughter. As they grew older, Sophia's arrogance bloomed like a thorny rose. She knew she was the favorite. She knew she was adored, and she wore that knowledge like a crown. She became self-entitled, self-important, convinced the world would always bend to her will. But life doesn't always follow the script you write. And the moment that shattered everything came when Ethan walked into their lives. Ethan was the son of their mutual family friends. They had seen him at gatherings, weddings, and barbecues over the years. Sophia had always liked him. She would giggle around him, find excuses to talk to him, go out of her way to impress him. But Ethan never looked at her the way she wanted. He noticed Olivia, and Olivia never knew. If she had, she would have stepped aside. She would have let Sophia have him, because Olivia never wanted to be in competition with her sister. She would have quietly walked away. But she didn't know. It was Ethan who found her. It was Ethan who saw through her, through the walls she had built from years of being unwanted. He was kind to her, patient with her. He would sit and talk with her when she was hiding in the kitchen during loud parties. He listened. And then, one day, he confessed. Olivia remembered that moment so clearly. She was in shock. She even asked him, "Are you sure?" "Not Sophia." His answer changed her life. "I like you, Olivia. I always have. You have something no one else has. You're genuine. You're kind. You're real." For the first time in her life, someone chose her. When Olivia told her parents about Ethan's proposal, she expected joy, excitement. But instead, she was met with cold, accusing stares. Sophia had beaten her to it. Sophia had already told them Olivia stole him from her. Sophia spun the story that Olivia had always known she loved him, that Olivia intentionally seduced him, that Olivia was jealous of her, and this was her revenge. And Olivia's parents believed Sophia. They didn't ask Olivia. They didn't listen to her. "You should be ashamed," her mother hissed. "You've betrayed your own sister," her father said, his voice shaking with disappointment. Olivia tried to explain. She pleaded. She begged them to understand. But their minds were made up. Sophia's word was gold. Olivia's was dust. On Olivia's wedding day, her own parents were cold and distant. They came, but they weren't really there. They sat stiffly through the ceremony, their smiles forced, their eyes distant, as if they were attending out of obligation rather than joy. Sophia didn't speak to Olivia. She didn't even look at her. But Olivia noticed something else that day. Something subtle. A smirk that played on Sophia's lips when she thought no one was watching. A gleam in her eye that didn't match the occasion. It was a look Olivia had seen her whole life, when Sophia was up to something. The ceremony began. The music swelled, and Olivia made her way down the aisle. She was nervous, of course, but something didn't feel right. She could feel the faint tug of the dress at her waist, a looseness that hadn't been there during the fitting. She brushed it off as nerves. But as she stood before Ethan, as they exchanged their vows, she suddenly felt a sharp snap around her waist. The entire back seam of her gown had ripped, splitting the delicate lace and silk, the tight stitching coming undone in one clean tear. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Olivia heard a few people laugh quietly. She saw eyes widening, hands covering mouths, and, across the aisle, Sophia, struggling to hide her satisfaction. Olivia's heart stopped. For a brief moment, she was frozen, humiliated, her entire body burning with shame. She wanted to cry. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear. But then Ethan, without hesitation, without even glancing at the crowd, Ethan stepped forward. He took off his tuxedo jacket and gently wrapped it around Olivia, covering the torn fabric. His arm wrapped protectively around her waist as he turned to the guests and spoke with calm authority. "We didn't come here for a perfect show. We came here to celebrate love, and nothing will ruin that." His voice silenced the whispers. His eyes burned with quiet rage, but his hand holding Olivia's was steady, warm, safe. In that moment, Olivia didn't care about the dress. She didn't care about the gasps or the stares. She cared about him. About the man who didn't hesitate to shield her, who didn't laugh, who didn't falter. Sophia's smirk disappeared. She hadn't expected that. She wanted Olivia to break. She wanted her to cry, to fall apart in front of everyone. She wanted Olivia's wedding day to become a story of embarrassment. But instead, it became a story of something else, of being chosen. After the ceremony, Ethan and Olivia quietly asked the bridal staff to double-check the dress. And that's when they found it. The back seam had been deliberately loosened, small stitches clipped in just the right places to guarantee the dress would give way when Olivia moved. Olivia knew it. Ethan knew it. Both of them suspected Sophia, but they had no proof. There were no cameras in the dressing area, no witnesses. Just that familiar smirk, just that long history of petty, cruel games. Olivia told Ethan they should let it go, but he wouldn't. He stood by her, furious but calm, and for that, Olivia would always be grateful. He was the family she always wanted, the one who chose her, not for how she looked, not for what she could offer, but simply because of who she was. In the end, Sophia's plan didn't humiliate Olivia, it only showed her who truly stood in her corner. It showed her who her real family was. But the story didn't end there. Sophia's wedding came 2 years later. She was marrying a man named Lucas, another socialite from their family circle. Her wedding was the event of the season, grand, luxurious, meticulously planned. But there was one glaring detail. Olivia was not invited. The invitation never came. Ethan was furious. He wanted to confront them, but Olivia begged him not to. "Let it go," she said. "This is who they are." But fate had other plans. The day of the wedding, Ethan and Olivia showed up. Not to crash it, not to ruin it, but because, deep down, Olivia still loved her family. She thought maybe Sophia would soften, maybe her parents would look past their bias. But when they arrived, the whispers started. Some people smiled politely, but many others smirked. Some openly laughed. Olivia heard someone murmur, "Oh, look who showed up uninvited." Sophia spotted Olivia across the room. She walked over, her smile fake, her voice dripping with venom. "Oh, Olivia, I didn't think you'd come. You're so brave showing up here, considering, you stole my first love." Sophia's words were sharp enough to slice through bone. Her husband Lucas chuckled at her side. Before Olivia could speak, Ethan stepped forward. Enough. His voice was loud, commanding. The music dimmed. The guests turned. You've been lying for years, Sophia. He wasn't shouting, but every word was crystal clear. You told everyone Olivia stole me from you. But the truth is, she didn't even know you liked me. You never confessed to her. You never told anyone. You assumed you could have anything you wanted. But I never wanted you. I wanted her. I chose her. And you've punished her for years for something she didn't do. The room fell into a stunned silence. Olivia's parents, sitting at the front table, looked like statues. Her father's jaw clenched. Her mother's face flushed with confusion and embarrassment. Ethan continued. You built your entire narrative on a lie. And you dragged your own family into your web. You let them hate their daughter, just so you could feel like you won. Sophia's face paled. I loved Olivia because she is what you never had. A good heart. Integrity. Humility. You have none of those things. Her mask cracked. She tried to speak, but Ethan didn't give her the chance. We're leaving. But I wanted the truth to be known. Ethan turned to the guests, who were now whispering furiously. She wasn't the villain. She was just your scapegoat. And with that, they walked out. But just as they turned to leave, life had its own way of finishing the story. A waiter passed by Sophia, carrying a tray of drinks. In a rush to avoid another guest, he stumbled slightly, and a full glass of red wine tipped over, crashing onto Sophia's pristine white wedding dress. The dark liquid spread rapidly, soaking the lace and satin, creating a deep, unavoidable stain right in the center of her gown. The hall gasped. Sophia shrieked, frantically trying to wipe it off, her perfect moment slipping through her fingers. Ethan paused for a moment, watching quietly. Olivia felt no anger, no satisfaction, just a quiet understanding. We didn't have to do anything, she whispered softly. The universe was already watching. Sometimes, karma doesn't need our hands to deliver justice. Ethan smiled faintly. The universe always balances its books. We just have to step aside and let it. And they walked out, leaving Sophia in the middle of her grand, ruined wedding. Not because they wanted revenge, but because the universe had already taken care of it. As they left the grand hall, Olivia felt a weight she had carried her entire life finally begin to lift. For once, she wasn't invisible. For once, she wasn't the one who had to swallow the injustice. Ethan squeezed her hand as they stepped into the sunlight. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore, he said. And he was right. Olivia had stopped chasing their approval. She had stopped waiting for them to see her. She had her own family now, a husband who loved her, friends who cherished her, a life that she built. Sophia and Olivia hadn't spoken since that day. Olivia's parents reached out months later, but the damage was done. She didn't hate them. She had just outgrown them. Some families are built by blood. Some are built by love. And Olivia finally chose the right one.